Once upon a time, two boys grew up playing hockey in the village of Terrace, British Columbia. One of them went on to play in the National Hockey League. The other became a comedian. Now, one flies planes and coaches youth hockey. The other is still a comedian and owns news skates. This is their podcast, Enjoying Orange Slices with Jeff and Ian.
The podcast is called Enjoying Orange Slices with Jeff, Ian, and sometimes Millard. And today Millard is here. Hi, buddy. How are you? How are you? How are you?
I miss you guys.
Darren?
I miss
Jeffrey?
you guys.
I'm good. I watched Millard just weave his magic last night again on the Golden Knights telecast. Just the best host in the league. And
I was good last night.
you were good. You know what? I love the beginning. Actually, you were good the other night too. When Wild Bill, you said cowboy up because Wild Bill's riding back into town, and in his first shift, I like how you guys were talking. Wild Bill Carlson, he's gonna have some rust. First shift, guys on him, sauces a pass into the middle for Pearson, one timer. Thanks for coming. Not much.
17 seconds into his first shift, he sets up a one-timer for a goal. It has a 2-point night.
Is that going to be this podcast? How great are the Golden Knights? Forget about welcome, enjoying orange slices. We're going to just, how great are the Golden
Well,
Knights?
look, hey, I even wore my outfit today that
Looks like you're wearing pajamas.
well, it's a little chilly here today. We're a little soft. We're freely admitting that in
We're a
Vegas.
little soft.
Totally.
We freely admit it. It was 85, which would be what, 32 Celsius, something maybe like that, on Sunday, and today it's going to be 65, which is about what, 16 or 17 Celsius.
You could say anything and I would believe you because I can't do the conversion.
No. So
Do you ever want to?
anyways,
Do you even want to? I don't like.
No.
I go with kilometers I like kilometers for driving, but the temperature, I stick with the old American way. 100, 102, 99.
It
32.
just sounds bigger, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sounds great. It sounds fantastic. Sounds like we're on the Mars or something like that.
Yeah, I went for a big bike ride on Sunday and it was beautiful. And then this morning I walked out and went, ooh. I turned on my heated seats.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh my God.
I don't know why they have them here.
I use them year round. Use them year round. You got to stay loose, Millard. Come on.
You got to stay loose.
Does
By the way,
cause you back sweat?
No. When you start to get warm, you just turn them off. But it's nice. Get in the car
Sharples
after being on the ice.
well, my question
Sharples
for you,
driving
Darren, is
around
why
with
do
a
you,
big back sweat going?
yeah, but why do you get back sweat? That's from being nervous.
Yeah, I don't get that. I just like to heat her up.
You don't get back sweat from the heated seats?
No, I get butt
when I
sweat.
start to get warmed up a little bit, I turn them off. But it's awesome year round. Now,
butt
heated
sweat's
steering
even
wheel,
worse.
a heated steering wheel. A lot of people love that.
I'm not rich enough.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know. I think up north probably where it gets really cold, people like, yeah, that's awesome. But
Do you have it here,
It's not
heated wheel?
I have one on my pickup, but I
Are
hate
you
when it comes on.
serious?
Big wheel.
Because he gets back sweats from his heated wheel.
That's
No
right.
wonder- yeah.
I like to hold on to the heated steering wheel while I
And can't
on
change a tire, but he's got a heated steering wheel.
Yeah.
I actually sat in the car and held on to his steering wheel while they changed the tire because it was warm inside.
That is a beautiful
Yeah.
description of it.
Yeah. Are you guys almost done?
You got your PJs on though? That looks comfy.
No, I don't. I'm all dressed up, but I put this on because I went outside and I was like, yeah,
What is it? A hoodie or something? A hoodie without a hood?
Yeah, it was just sweat top. Mallard got it
Hoodless?
for me, so I wear it on the ice. I love it. So it's good.
How
A
was
hoodie
it? You
can't
were
be a hoodie without a hood.
a hoodless.
It's a hoodless hoodie.
It's a sweatshirt.
Oh, didn't even think of that. Thank you. You got me.
Well,
I wasn't trying to get you. I'm just like,
Well, you got me though. Yeah, I forgot what it was called. I turned into my father. What's that thing you're wearing with the shirt and the
That
arms?
thingy.
no,
I was watching clips of you last night, Bagg. I have trouble
that's
sleeping
sweet.
after the game, so I end up going down rabbit holes. And you are a frequent. I'm a frequent visitor to your YouTube page.
Thank you, buddy.
Gosh,
You're
you're
making
a
me
funny
money.
guy. You're a
Sweet.
funny guy.
I watch you. I honestly, I put so I'll put on the Canucks when I travel with the ESPN app, and I'll put it on in the green room of all the clubs, and it'll either be you or the Canucks. That's what goes on. Yeah.
That's my favorite thing in the world when people walk in and see hockey on. They're like, huh.
What's that?
What's going on?
Yeah.
I didn't
Because every
expect this.
club,
Yeah,
like every club puts on the who's ever on stage, right? It's just a live feed. So the headliner, LB in this case, might want to know when he's getting ready to come on. No, we're in there watching hockey.
Yeah. We flip it
Is-
around.
Okay, what are the
Every club.
rules? What are the rules
No rules.
surrounding a green room for an entertainer?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Like, who runs it? Who determines who gets in? Who
Or well,
determines the snacks?
if it's on my show, all
So
the
you're
all the
headlining.
yeah, if I'm headlining, all the artists are welcome. They can bring if they have a friend they want to bring in. It's not a huge green room, so we don't always say, "Hey, bring all your friends. We're all crammed in there." But all my friends, I invite whoever I want in, right? And then I get to pick what's on TV, even though they want to watch other things sometimes. But I'm like, "This is what we're watching: Bob's Burger or hockey." That's what we watch in my green rooms. And they actually, I have a rider which I get to pick what I have in my green room, which is new within the last year. I get some things, but a lot of the green rooms in these comedy clubs, they're doing all these fancy things where they put candy all around and trying to make people be excited to be in the green room. It's kind of funny. So
What's in your
bunch of
rider?
di-
All right,
What's in my
can you share with us?
Yeah, I can.
Coke Zero.
It's Coke Zero, and then fruit and veggie tray. That's what I asked for. Like that, yeah. Fruit and veggie tray, and get this. Somebody else. My other thing was I asked for 6 milk crates, which I put my merch in, which just blows their mind because some clubs think I'm going to do a DJ set afterwards and set up a DJ booth on the milk crates. They don't understand what's going on. And then somebody put in it, and I just haven't changed it. One iPhone 16 charger. So they've been buying me chargers. So I've been collecting chargers as we go along. It's kind of
Oh,
cool.
you get to keep them?
Yeah. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna give them to the homeless, which is sad because they're not gonna have the 16, so they won't be able to charge.
Why is the 16 charger different?
Yeah, it's more like universal, whereas the last one on the 14 was just for iPhone. I think it was some sort of lawsuit or something like that. Welcome to Enjoying Law with Jeff, Ian, and Darren.
So
Hey.
those are the 4 things in your rider.
Yeah, I'm pretty boring.
Can
If you ever
we
go
add
visit-
one thing?
Yes.
Like Sharples and I?
Yeah.
Okay, Sharples, what would you add to his rider?
You know what? I really don't. When I go in there, there's always water. I don't drink when I go to Ian shows because
Sorry, I didn't mean to spin my head
yeah.
around.
I know, like what? I don't.
Work?
Yeah, I don't just having some water handy is
Oh my
always
God.
nice.
Does this go direct to Alaska Airlines?
Yeah,
What
exactly.
is
It's we're having a town hall meeting right now.
that? I don't drink.
and this is where I had my hand up for a question, but we're doing slices instead. So and just water. No, I don't really, it's nice to have some snacks in there, but you know what I was
Yeah.
thinking? The one thing when you said fruit and cheese, I was like, how cool would it be to have some shrimp cocktail in there?
Oh, that'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
okay. I'm
That's
putting
I
that
wouldn't
down.
So I'd say shrimp cocktail.
I
Why
wouldn't
not?
trust them. There'd be an old shrimp cocktail.
Yeah,
Everybody getting
it's kinda-
diarrhea on stage.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
my
you wouldn't
goodness.
have it till after the show when you're driving home.
You know what I had? In my Canadian tour, guess what? I did have one extra thing added. I don't know if you
What?
guys like these Hawkins cheesies.
Oh, the best.
Do you know those?
I've never heard of those.
The cheesies. Come on, Millard.
Oh, cheesy, like just regular cheesies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but from Hawkins, the brand Hawkins, the red, white, and blue package.
I don't understand.
All right.
It's like orange. It's orange and it's got red. Oh, so if somebody take a picture and send in Hawkins
Please.
cheesies.
Please, I know
They're
cheesies.
the best. Yeah, you're probably talking about the same thing.
Huh.
Hey, but
Um,
Mallard, here's my take on the green room though, and you have to put your request in. But the green room is kind of like the dressing room in hockey, where it's kind of the sanctuary for obviously the comedians getting ready to go on stage. Now, some of those green rooms are real busy because like Comedy and Magic, when Lord Bagg used to be a little bit when he was working his way up. There was like 7 or 8 comedians and a magician usually.
Yeah, whoever was on the show, they'd all be back there, plus whoever, whatever guests they brought.
Yeah,
So,
everybody's paying their dues.
Yeah, that's a lot different now. It's been fun. It's been great. But the fun things in there. What did you want to add? What was yours? Millard. What was yours? M&Ms.
M&Ms.
Do you know the reason behind the Van Halen wanting only brown M&Ms?
So people could read the rider, or make sure people read the rider.
Which with their other stuff that was on stage that was safety concerning. They wanted to make sure they were paying attention to it. Which is
great.
Which most people just thought they had an ego, but they were actually concerned about amps falling on them or fire shooting into one of their faces.
Which was a Kiss show.
A Kiss show, but I think I think in the 80s everybody had fire, right?
Yeah.
So, oh, man.
And
what was the last
had all
concert?
that great hair too, and I'm surprised they didn't light themselves on fire.
What was the last concert you guys went to?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I would think you could go to any concert that is at the T-Mobile. Could you guys go to that?
I was supposed to go to Zach Bryan this summer, and I had my hand surgery the day before, and I couldn't clap, and I was afraid that I'd get excited and clap.
Try to light your lighter.
Who would be the last concert I went to? Give me
Jeff
a second
used to go to a
back
ton.
on that.
Jeff back in the day used to go a ton when he first moved to Vegas. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you know what? I would always be at a concert, but now I haven't been to a concert in a long time. So, hey, we probably told this story while you're thinking of this, Millard, about green rooms. The green room we had when you were sharing the stage with one Dennis Miller back at the House of Blues back in the day was pretty sweet.
Oh, yes.
Like sometimes they go over the top.
There was 2 different green rooms, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
there was his green room and then everybody's green room.
There was his green room and my green room, but he didn't care about anything in his green room. So, Vin and Jeff went over there, and we were all chowing down on Dennis Miller stuff. It was like fantastic, roast beef sandwiches, fantastic.
And anytime it's free, you just if you're not hungry.
Oh my God, it just tastes so much better. They're just if you've ever licked $100 bill, it's the same.
It's so good. Was Dennis Miller nice though?
He didn't really talk to me. Rob Lowe was there.
Yeah.
And
no way.
Jeff and it was Vin, right? It was Vin, right?
Yeah,
it was
Vin Diggity. Yep. Me and Vin and Rob Lowe. Yep. So
I like Rob Lowe.
Yeah, he was cool, and he enjoyed Lord Bagg's show. Lord Bagg, that was back in the day. Actually, didn't I go pick you up in Burbank for that one? Brought you into Vegas.
Is that one?
Yeah, that was it.
Was that?
We went down to pick you up in Burbank. I went down, picked Lord Bagg up in Burbank, flew him back to Vegas for the big deal, because the original opener for Dennis Miller, something happened. So Lord Bagg was warming up
needed a last minute. Yeah. So and Jeff flew down. What was you and who flew? Rod Tony. And you flew me back though, but Tony, yes, Tony, yes.
Yeah, she's awesome. So Tony and I came down, got you, and then in a Seneca too. Back, so look that up.
No. So you private jetted down, got him, and flew him in?
Yes.
We wouldn't exactly call it a jet, but
I was going to say take out the jet part, but it was a private, definitely a private. I took a picture of my luggage before we got on.
It was a private aircraft.
Yeah.
And the club paid for that?
Nope, Jeff paid for that.
No, I just like, I always do. I need to make sure Lord Bagg is where he needs to be. So
he needed he needed his airtime is what he needed. He was trying to get his airtime. He's like, I'll come get you, because he's just flying around Vegas at that time. I'll come down. I'll figure out the Burbank airport. I'm just like, this should be good.
It's busy down there. It's still busy. Every time I go into Burbank, I'm like, this place hasn't changed at all. There's all kinds of general aviation, Van Nuys, Burbank, all those little airports down there. Those aren't little, but
because I came in through the Millionaire entrance. That's what it's called, right? Millionaire.
Yeah, it used to be Millionaire, and now I think they might have been bought out by what they call Atlantic now.
Yeah, that's a company, not like a token title for bigwigs.
Yeah. It's got Million and then AIR, right?
Yeah,
But
millionaire.
did you guys have to pay them to land there and pick somebody up, or how did that work?
You know what? I don't recall, but I don't remember. We maybe, I mean, obviously every airport has a landing fee, but back then we might have just come in and landed at Burbank, come over and grabbed you, and then left. So
That was very quick. I think you
we
guys
might
didn't
have
even
got. You
turn
know
off the
how it
lead.
is.
You didn't even turn off the left engine. You come in the right side. We don't even stop. Come on.
Well, at
get
least you
in.
have two.
Yeah. We had 2 engines. It was fantastic.
What's a landing fee? Like what
What?
in cost? What would it be?
Oh, I don't know. I mean,
$60.
I'd be just guessing. Yeah, but I mean, it depends on the size of the airplane. And so the bigger airplane, because they carry more people, the higher the landing fee. So that's how these
Per
big
person?
airports stay in business, right? Through
So
landing
60
fees.
bucks would be
Oh, you know what? For a small airplane, like I don't know if you could touch down in Vegas if you were even in a smaller plane for under $250 now. Like
Oh,
I'm
really?
talking like a Cessna. I didn't even know that. That's a guess. If anybody out there knows, that's. But you know, you're going to pay less at the outskirts there. You know, the airports that are for like Henderson or North Las Vegas, say in the Las Vegas area. But yeah, I mean, you're going to pay a pretty hefty fee to go and land at the Harry Reid International in Vegas because they got everybody else
Reid.
coming in there. So it used to
Do
be
you have to
called
get any more
McCarran.
hours? Do you have to get any more hours? Because I got a couple of places I'd like to hit up.
Well, I'd have
Where
to
would you
get
like to go?
Yeah, would you want to come with me on my next trip? I hope hopefully San Diego and Cabo's in there. And then yeah, I can take you.
Like I was talking
That
about
would
a
be
private
awesome.
jet, like private plane. Where can we go?
Well, you'd have to get checked out, so you need somebody. You can go wherever you want if you want to pay the money. You want to go to Hawaii?
No, I want to. You're
He wants it for
willing-
free.
Yeah, you did
doesn't
that
want
for
it.
Bagg because you needed hours. I'm
Oh,
wondering if
man.
you need hours so we can just
Oh,
just
man.
go.
No, it wasn't because
Mi-
I was just a good guy.
Millie just got jealous. Well, I thought I
Yeah.
was your best
Like,
friend.
Well, we're just going for
I thought I
coffee.
was
You're
your best friend.
you're
I thought,
flying
how
Lord
come you
Bagg
gotta-
all over North America, and we're just going for coffee.
Yeah.
This is the
Yeah.
best ever. But what
Yeah.
about me? I want to go on the plane too.
I don't even really
Well-
want to go anywhere. I just want to be included.
Why don't you tell Lord Bagg? Why don't you tell everyone why you always used to take maybe you still do take pictures of your luggage?
Oh, that I didn't take just so because just in case it disappeared, you know, I just I knew what it looked like.
He couldn't
trust it.
trust those baggage handlers,
No,
which was
I
me
don't.
and Tony. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't trust you guys. Whenever I sit in one of those little planes, have you ever seen that Martin Short movie where he gets stung by a bee and swells
Yes.
up? That's
Yeah.
that's all. I always look out the window and turn when somebody says something. I always turn, pretending you're all swelled up.
I use that all the time with people that I haven't seen in a while, and they're bigger. You get stung by a bee?
Oh, no. You're a dick.
Oh my God.
Oh my
That's
God.
brutal. I've heard Lord Bagg say a lot of things on the stage, but nothing as hurtful as
Yeah.
that.
That's
Oh
so
my-
mean.
Hey,
Hey,
you
man,
guys-
wait
brutal.
wait for the honey to come be made. Just don't start licking bees, fella.
Have you guys seen RJ? He got stung by a bee.
Or at
Oh,
least
my God.
10.
Yeah, ran into a hornet's nest.
Oh my God. That is the best. Oh my, I'm going to use it on myself every morning.
He gets stung
Just
by
sleep
a
in a
bee.
bee's nest last night. Oh, that's so funny. Oh my God.
He always come
That's
across
why
so
you don't get
placid,
private right. Yeah. What's
right?
that?
He always comes across so placid, but he's
Yeah.
a silent assassin, and then boom, he's got a
man.
sharp tongue like you do. I'm telling you.
No.
He's a
Again,
devil.
I watched Lord Bagg. He is so funny, and the way sometimes you're nice to people in a roundabout way, and other times you just attack them, and it's so good.
I don't attack them. I want them to laugh. I want them to laugh.
Okay, you're aggressive.
Yeah.
Hey,
I know to tell somebody to shut the fuck up.
LB, when's the last time we covered this briefly? Maybe a week or two ago, maybe longer.
Tell you
now.
what, we're not covering briefly is hockey today.
Yeah, because
sorry.
you were able to redirect it away from the Golden Knights immediately, Wild Bill. But we'll get back to him. When's the last time, or have you had a run of kicking people out of your shows? Because normally you're out there seat belting the people they want to take out of the shows back in. It's like, no, he's okay. Leave him alone.
No,
But
funny you
have you?
mentioned that because I haven't had many people kicked out, but on Saturday night in Tulsa, late show, wasn't a huge show, only about 120 people out of 300. And I could see these three ladies off to the side that didn't like me. I could tell there was a problem just by the way they were eating. Let's just say they'd been stung by bees, right? And I was watching them and they left halfway through, and the manager told me they were trying to come up with a reason they didn't like me. And they said, Ian's drunk. He's up there and he's slurring his words and he's drunk. He's just being an idiot. He's drunk. And they're like, actually, Ian doesn't drink. His rider's Diet Coke or Coke Zero or whatever it is. So I can guarantee he's not drunk. And we mostly have drunk comedians on stage here. So I don't know why you'd be complaining about him being drunk. So, but it was awesome. I'm like, oh, it worked. People thought I was hammered. They just think I'm such an idiot. They thought I was drunk. I loved it.
How do you kick somebody out of a show?
Oh, you just go, can you get the fuck out of here?
Really?
And then two bouncers come over here and come over and grab them and then take them out. But I don't, you've got to do a lot, right? Because I watch people when they come in back when I was doing it, when I was like opening for people and nobody cared who I was. And people are excited, like, and some people are overexcited. And they're not, there's very rarely are they trying to disrupt or be rude. They're mostly trying to be funny as well. And they're not good at it. So it comes across wrong.
Hey, do you think just to kind of build on that, it like when you talk to someone like they're all fired up, maybe had a couple, cocktails, get themselves going. Do you think when you address them, it's fight or flight for some of them? Like, oh my God, now he's talking to me. Now I got to kind of interact. And do you think that the adrenaline kicks in and they kind of, I don't want to say black out, but kind of lose control and get in the fast lane and start driving, trying to drive funny. With you? You know?
I think sometimes, but I think those people I'm able to calm down. It's like those people, like I'm trying to make them, and you said I'm aggressive with them, but I feel like I'm pretty good at handling them.
Oh, no.
So they want to talk to me.
You're never terrible to them. You're just more aggressive or you have fun with them.
Terrible.
You're never terrible. You're never terrible.
You're never really terrible. You're just really aggressive.
You're not mean, but aggressive in
and bad comedian at the same time.
Aggressive in a performing aspect.
Well, I've only got so much time, buddy.
Yeah.
So I got to get it done. But I try to make them just relax. So they answer honestly. And honestly, I'll be when people are honest, it's way funnier than when they try to make stuff up. So if you get them just to be honest and not try to be performative, it can go some great places, So yeah.
Have you ever worked Sharples into an act?
Yeah, just the other night with you guys. Remember?
Oh, but he was emceeing sort of.
Oh, I forgot if when he's not on the show.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I think I've pointed you out before, haven't I, Jeff?
No, well, you used to take me down years ago, but then we had to stop that because we both have to work for a living.
We had to stop doing a joke because it actually might affect financial.
It might affect my career. So he's like, "Oh, we're like," he's like, "I probably shouldn't do that one anymore." I'm like, "Well, it is funny, but yeah, you might want to,
at the Alaska Airlines Christmas party. Hey, that
guy." Have you done his Christmas party?
I have not, but the best Christmas party I ever got was I did the Spearmint Rhinos Christmas party one year, and I'm like, getting all the money back that I spent.
No, that.
Yeah.
Are you busier during the holidays?
I used to be. Now I don't want to do them. It's funny. I don't want to talk about this, but comedians take gigs that are horrible, like that we take for money. And I just watched a guy do a gig. I just watched a guy do a gig that he probably didn't want to do. And they're like, you got to do this because it's great money and there'll be eyes on you. And it turned out really bad for him. It happened on Saturday. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. But I used to go in and do like corporates. We talked about corporates, right? Yeah, you guys came to a corporate, and corporates 9 out of 10 times are people that are at a situation that they don't want to be at, like that's either during the day, and if I wasn't there, they probably get to go home, but they have to be there with their boss and pretend to enjoy themselves, and they're just like checked out of life like you wouldn't believe. Or it's at their Christmas party and they're just the open bar, and they're trying to make sure that open bar has to close early because they run out of alcohol. So they are just hammered, right? So it's just like I did one back in our hometown in Kitimat at the this is probably about I think it might have been just before the pandemic or just as the pandemic was ending, probably just before, for Alcan, and it was the worst gig I've ever done. So they put me on the floor with no light, right? No lights on me, a sound system that was not very loud, and they were surrounding me. And the I think the introduction was, "This guy's going to try comedy for you," something like that. And it was me telling the president of Alcan that I hope his smelter burns down for like an hour or so. It was just horrible. It was the worst gig ever. And if you don't pay attention, they cut corners like this place did and didn't put me on a stage, didn't have lights on me, didn't have a sound system that was good, and those things are important. Lights and sound are huge for stand-up. And it was, they had a DJ on stage, but they wouldn't let me go on stage. It was great.
Why?
So, because they're dipshits. They've never been to an actual show before, so they don't know how it works. Well, he's just going to come and sit at our table with us and tell us some jokes. Anyways,
very intimate.
This is like therapy right now.
I do that.
We're finally dragging the Kitimat show.
I went back to being a 16-year-old kid and was going to play hockey in Kitimat, just fighting my way out of that town again.
Did you just bolt after that gig?
Or I threw my fingers up and said, I hope you all get laid off.
And walked out of the room.
Yeah.
That's good.
Shouldn't have gave me the check beforehand.
Hey, and the best part about it is how many people were there? About 400, and all 400 of them were guys, right? Yeah. So it would have been a pretty rough crowd, anyways. Someone would have kicked your butt. About at least 100 of them. They're like
400. It was probably about 400, and 300 of them were guys, and and 100 were wives, and it's just guys hoping their buddy dies so they get to take over on their wife.
That's so wrong. That's so wrong.
Hey, you know what?
Oh my God. I can't believe you just said that.
But it might have been. That might have been terrible.
I might have been a little aggressive there.
You did a show. I saw this where a woman was at the show that you were conversing with, and she was dating her husband's best friend.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't that same show that we're talking about, but
no, that was fun. That was funny. Yeah. It's
and her daughter was there, and I was like, I was uncomfortable just watching it on YouTube, and you were having the greatest time.
It's funny what they're telling me. A great show is when somebody's just so comfortable they'll tell you anything. Like, I'm DB Cooper. Oh, I was really comfortable there. I forgot. I shouldn't have told him that.
I love my DB Cooper. I've read about 5 books on that guy.
It's so good.
Or that person. Yeah. I don't know whether guy, but
might be. It's fantastic though.
That's what we're gonna do next time. Sharples, if Sharples ever takes me up in the air, I'm gonna DB Cooper.
All right.
I'm just gonna jump over the Puget Sound and never be seen again.
Yeah.
Disappear. Start over.
I guess we should talk about hockey at some point.
Okay, let's talk about hockey.
Okay, let's get serious.
Oh, Fleetwood Mac. By the way, Fleetwood Mac. Who's the female singer?
Stevie Nicks.
Stevie
Nicks. Last Lindsey concert Graham. I went to. No, Stevie Nicks I saw at T-Mobile Arena, and she was awesome. She had a walking boot on. She'd broken her ankle or her foot or something, and she was amazing.
Hey, you know what? It's funny you talk about a walking boot. I think the last live concert I was at could be this could be generally
Foo Fighters?
No, it was Guns N' Roses. They opened up T-Mobile. And
Oh, my.
T-Mobile's
No,
8 years
there's-
old now. Yeah. Do you believe that? You weren't even
That's-
here yet, Millard.
No.
The
How
Savior
old is it?
hadn't arrived in Vegas yet. That's
The,
what I'm gonna
the
say.
Golden
Savior.
Knights are 8, so T-Mobile's 9.
9. So April 1st, I think it was, or so they did a show. It was like April 8th or 9th. They did an April Fool's Day show in Vegas, or sorry, in LA, and they said April Fool's Day, Guns N' Roses. And they put it on there. And people are like, oh yeah, whatever. Well, Guns N' Roses actually showed up in this bar in LA, and Axl jumped off the stage and broke his ankle. And anyways, they had him in some kind of chair moving him around the stage.
No.
And so, yeah. And it was awesome. I mean, they were right on, but he said for $3 million, we'll meet you anywhere. $3 million a night. He said, it doesn't matter what's happening to us. We'll find a way to get there. So I
I'm
think
with
that's
him
the
on
last
that.
concert.
I love that
Absolutely.
honesty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he got it was kind of like a lazy boy that kind of moved around the stage kind of thing. Someone else, some other tour had it before they had it.
But that was Foo Fighters. Foo Fighters had it before them.
Yeah. And so and then Alice in Chains opened for them. And that's when I knew we got there. Of course, you know, if the concert starts at 8, what they really mean is about 10:30 or 11. But Alice in Chains got on, and the building was about half to 2/3 full. It's the first time I'd been in T-Mobile for any kind of event, other than when Michelle hosted the Las Vegas Hospitality Association with George McPhee back in the day to introduce the Golden Knights. They did a big thing down there, but this had people in it, and I was like, this place is going to rock. Sound was unbelievable, the noise, and of course, if you've ever been down there for a concert or a hockey game, you know, or UFC or whatever, that building has got all kinds of energy. So I think that's the last one I saw. I hate to say it, that'd be 9 years ago.
That's weird.
I've seen lots of shows. Like I go down and see all the shows in Vegas, but like a real actual like rock concert or something like that, that's probably been
Country concert.
Garth Brooks at the Wynn. Garth Brooks.
Well, that counts. That counts.
But I don't know when that was. That was maybe, I don't know, it could have been before that. But I haven't probably seen a concert in at least 4 or 5 years.
I like that you say, I don't know when that was. I've given up on my timeline for Garth Brooks.
Totally. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That couldn't
Garth
have been before.
I just need to know
That
when
could
I
have been
gotta go to the
yesterday
rink.
or
Yeah. I do so much. I fly planes.
yes.
I worry about when I got to go to the rink and when I got to go to work. A
You
few other
worry about
things.
when you go to the rink. You forget when you're going to work. I gotta go. But you know when you're going to the rink.
Yeah.
You love to walk in that door and smell the air. Oh, it tastes a little different in here.
I like it too.
Yeah.
There's nothing like walking into an arena. I'll tell you. You never get sick of that. It's therapeutic.
It is fantastic. You know, in Montreal, when they turned the Forum afterwards into a mall, I don't know if you guys know that.
Yeah,
So
a movie theater.
Yeah, movie theater and a mall, and a comedy club was in there, and I played there once, and you could still smell the arena, right? And I was just like, oh, it still smells like arena. And I went on stage and I said, I had many dreams, many dreams of playing in the Forum, not once as a comedian.
Joe Louis Arena was the one that I could smell the most because it just stale beer. It was just
Oh, really?
absorbed into the cement of Joe Louis Arena.
Just union rallies going on in there. No hockey games at all.
And Sharples had peed in the corner when he was with the Red
Because he was
Wings.
nervous about his first game.
Yeah.
Well, first I got called up in the playoffs, and I obviously
Against
from
Edmonton?
across country. I couldn't get there in time, and I remember walking into the building, and the game was going on, and we had a chance. We, the mighty Red Wing, had a chance, and it was like, oh wow, and the noise literally scared the hell out of me. I was like, oh my god, I've never heard noise like that in my life, and I'm like, I got to go play in front of that. But you know what? Once you get out there, it's. I mean,
Was that
Joe
Edmonton?
Lewis, it went back in the Gretzky Messier days.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I've watched that game.
Well, I was walking in the back of Joe Louis at that. Well, it was the first year they played. We played them back to back. I think 2 years in a row when they won the cup in the semifinals. And the noise in that building, because Joe Louis for hockey could get 23,000 in there. I mean, the fire marshal said 19,875, but they would just jam them in there. And that place had a lot of that was a massive building. It was a lot of fun. I just love Joe Louis. The
Which
Chicago, what's that?
which is the better, flying in and watching, or just flying in and playing? Like, which is better psyche wise? Like, does
Oh, what do you
watching
mean?
make
Like
you want
when
to
you
get?
get called up or what?
Yeah, like was it good because now you're like a horse chomping at the bit? I want to get in there. I want to get in there. Whereas maybe you would have been a little tired if you'd made it that day.
You know what? I think when you're a young guy, you just want to get there. So if I'd have shown up at the rink at 6 o'clock and they would have put me in warm up to play, I would have been ready to go because you're so excited. When you get a little older, when they call you up, I mean, you're just as excited, but you have a little bit more miles on you and a little bit more water under the bridge. So I think you're probably get in the day before, maybe have a pregame skate with the team and the guys, and then play that night, get ready because you're a little bit more used to how you prepare and what kind of makes you tick. But I don't think there's anybody that when they get called up to the NHL, if they can play that night, would say, I'd rather wait for tomorrow. I think the excitement of it is just overwhelming, in the fact that there's such a difference between playing in the NHL and playing in the minors. And some of the best people I've ever met in my career were guys I played with in the minors. But you just go down to an NHL, the way they put it on now is just second to none. And the way they treat everyone, I mean, look at the hotels. They all charter now. It's not, we used to do commercial, all charter. My favorite hotel is the Drake in Chicago. I think teams still might stay there from time to time, but the hotels they stay at, like Ritz-Carlton, that's a preferred hotel for a lot of the teams. It's like the whole way it's done, and Millard's on the other end of it. He's done TV for a long time, but the way he dresses it up, right, and presents it, and the way it's presented to you is it's just big time. It's big time, and they're getting better at doing it all the time.
You could have flown the team back, like if you would have had your license.
Yeah,
individually in a Seneca too.
Yeah, just back and forth, like a Chicago-Detroit game. You could have just done multiple trips and got the whole team there.
We were playing Orlando. This was in the IHL, so we were playing Orlando. Bears. I was in Salt Lake City, and we were flying into Orlando, and there was thunderstorms all over the place. And guys used to look over at me because I had my private pilot license. Like, Sharps, what's going on? And I would be like, it's just some thunderstorms, and it's kind of to be expected, right? A lot of
Jeff.
Just kind of one of those things. And I'll never forget Mike Avizoff. And Mike Avizoff, one of my favorite guys I ever played with. They used to call him Matinee Mike because Bob McCannaman told him in Edmonton, Avy, you're no good in the morning and you're no good at night. So hopefully you're good in the afternoon. So we started calling him Matinee Mike. We're like, can we get more afternoon games for Avy? But he looks at me and he goes, this isn't right. And we're in a big L1011 back in the day, that going in Delta into Orlando.
With the motor in the middle of the
and this thing was like a Cadillac, and we're just getting bounced around like you wouldn't believe. And finally we break out of the clouds and we look, and he sees the ground and he goes, okay, I can grind from here. So we're still like 4,000 or 5,000 feet above the ground. AV looks at me, goes, I can grind from here.
That's really funny. Oh my goodness.
And we've all kind of been there where it's like, okay, I can see we're good. Salt Lake Golden Eagles, IHL. We were talking the other day about numbers, and Bruce Cassidy brought up, they said, what's the strangest number you ever saw? And Bruce Cassidy said, number 111. Mel Hewitt for the Salt Lake Golden Eagles wore 111 for a year.
Just letting everybody's never going to make a big.
I fact-checked the coach, and he was right. They won the Turner Cup or whatever the IHL was, and Mel Hewitt wore the number 111.
I never
just want to let everybody know how much ice time I'm getting before I get on the ice.
Well, when you
1 minute and 11.
if you got a high number in camp, like Tanner Pearson's number 70, well, that's the original number they gave Tanner Pearson in LA. So you know where he was in the depth chart, although I think he might have been, what was he, a second round pick? Was he second round, Millard?
Absolutely. He was not a first round.
Yeah, I'll double check that.
But anyways,
Small guy. Never a first round.
They gave him number 70. I remember you'd get to camp, and who was it? Did Gary do that article the other day on with Shane? Gary Lawless did an article and talked to Shane Knighty, Pearson, Pietrangelo, Bruce Cassidy about numbers. And it's actually pretty funny. It's a good story because it's so true. If you got to training camp or you got to a team and you saw like number 47, you're like, okay, I'm done. But if you saw like, number 18 or something, you're like, okay, this is looking really good. Now it doesn't matter, right? The numbers are all over the place, but
he's a first rounder, 30th overall.
No, so close though. See, he was almost a second rounder.
No.
How many teams were in the league when he was drafted?
30.
30.
Right. See?
Hey, you never ask a question you don't know the answer to. That's what I love about
it. 111. I don't even know how that would fit.
He must have been a real character, though, Mel, right?
Maybe he was. Because you got to think about this, guys. He might have been number 3, but they only had Roman numerals.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm taking that to the office in 15 minutes, and I'm going to use that. And I'm just going to bring it up randomly. Remember Mel Hewitt? We were talking the other day. He's number 3.
Turns out he's number 3. That's awesome.
I'm going to tell Bruce that.
Butchie will laugh. You know what? You'll never get that by Ashley, though. She'll be all over you about that.
Ashley, she's able to fact check you before you even get it done. And she's so quick on the phone. I've watched her on the broadcast. She's really good. Oh my God,
she's really good. She's doing the TNT game. She's doing the TNT game tomorrow night in LA for
good for her.
In LA. Yeah.
Congratulations to her.
We're really excited.
Yeah, well, good job, Ash. She said she'd come back on the show. So one week it'll be Jeff Ian and sometimes Ashley.
It'll just be Ashley. That's what the show will be called. Ashley.
You better be
enjoying
nice
Orange
Slice
with Ashley.
You better be nice.
Very nice to her.
She's awesome. Yeah. So good for her. So
what do you think we're gonna just? What do you think we're just gonna? She's gonna. Hey Ashley, how you doing? Hey, been stung by a bee? We're not you.
Yeah. Terribly aggressive.
The way Sharples treated her in the green room.
I'm going to use a quote on one of my posters. Terribly aggressive.
Terribly aggressive.
You need a few less Joel Colas next time we get together in the green room.
I don't do that stuff. I've cut caffeine out. I'm good. I'm just
what's
excited.
Interesting? You two, and you know how much this hurts me to give you a compliment. You two are very good at what you do, but you both approach game time totally different. Lord Bagg's like, hey, did you see LA scored? Yep. And goes down
I don't know how he does that.
Meanwhile, you're bouncing up and down.
Yeah.
And just I
get super uber focused and excited and hyper and stuff. And Lord Bagg's having a nap.
Yeah.
As they're saying his name.
Yeah. He's like, hey, you gave me a ride here. And then 20 minutes before the show, it's like magic. We he just disappears. And I go on and find a place to find my free water.
That's funny.
You're making it sound like you're trying to get it released from some kind of camp. Free water.
Free water.
Let it go. Free water.
Yeah. Hey, is Shane doing the game tomorrow night too?
No. Not that on.
Who's doing
I don't know who I don't even know who the broadcast crew is. I don't think Shane's doing it, but he could be.
He's out selling his beer with Dave.
Yeah. He's a grandpa too.
Oh, that's right. I tell you, he's a good looking grandpa.
Yeah.
He didn't like that too much the other night. He's like, I think he kind of felt like Dave was telling Shane Knight, now officially a grandpa, but he's a good looking grandpa. He's like, he still looks like he could play. Wouldn't that be cool if there was a grandpa in the league?
They don't say that about us, do they? Still looks like he could play.
Still looks like he could play.
We're on the other side of the glass now, Millard.
Yeah. You guys see McDavid got hurt?
Hey.
What did he do?
He went into the boards. It looked like he jammed his leg. He played the rest of the shift, and which
is good.
He skated okay. Like he didn't stay down, didn't have to be helped off. There's some turns, there was a stop in there, but he has gone back to Edmonton. So we'll see what the
Yeah, that is huge news. And here's some other huge news. Millard got some love on the broadcast the other night from Keegan Colzar. I hope you get him something really nice for Christmas.
Oh yeah, I will.
Hey,
Yeah,
so
he defended me. I
What'd
think
he say?
I don't think he believed what he was saying. He just felt bad that people were making fun of me.
no, Ashley took Millard down, which we all love, right? And then Keegan
What'd she
said,
say?
no, they were talking about shooting him on in practice because it was his first 2-goal game. And Ashley basically said, did you get all your confidence from shooting on Millard in practice? And Keegan stood up and was like, he's really much better than
People
you
think. People call him a confidence booster, but he's actually okay.
Yeah, he was defending his friend. I loved it.
Yeah.
And
Well, Brandon
awesome.
guys stick together.
He puts an effort in. He doesn't just get back sweat in the car.
Yeah. You can't take the Brandon out of us, the bond.
no,
You
there's
you
lots of
Manitoba
Brandon
guys
in
will
this
stick
team.
up. Yeah. Yeah, you will
Yeah.
stick up for each other. Like, oh. Speaking of Manitoba,
We'll be
I can't
fighting
bel-
like 10 minutes before, but if somebody insults
yeah, it's like
one of us,
I get
we'll be-
to pick on my brother, but you don't get to pick on my brother.
Exactly.
That's what it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. But speaking of Manitoba though, so Winnipeg goes in and isn't perfect anymore. Toronto, the up and down team, takes them down 6-4. Was it 6-4?
Mhm.
Yeah, it was. They made it
Good
close.
score.
Winnipeg
Did
made it
you-
close.
Made it close. Did you expect that many goals in that game? I didn't expect that many goals in that game, to be honest with you. 10 goals.
Well, any game Toronto plays in, they can score 10 goals. It's just whether they're going to.
Right. Well,
They're a strained. I think they're a work in progress under Chief.
Mhm.
I think they'll be
Absolutely.
fine, but they're a work in progress.
He's got to get them to play. Yeah, they're not.
Call it
not
chief hockey.
Yeah, they're not chief yet. Yeah, they're not
Yeah.
chief yet.
Well,
Yeah.
they're going to maybe lose half a goal for per game, but they're going to cut down a goal against, right? And maybe more. Like he's going to get them straightened around. It's tough love, right? And they were actually in Boston the other night, and I sent Millard a text because I know he's working hard. I'm like, tough way for Toronto Boston to end because Matthews went to go play the puck to Marner, who went for a change, and he passed it right to Pasternak, and so it was 2-on-1 with Marchand. They score. So I go, tough giveaway, crazy ending in the Boston Toronto game, and Mallard's like, go Boston. Like you didn't want anything to do with that.
Well, because Toronto frustrates me. Until they show me that they're willing to change, like why get involved in that?
Well, Daryl Sutter has a line that I'm going to name drop another guy today, Jared Scaldi, one of the great guys I played with. He goes, Daryl had a line. He goes, one of three things is going to happen. I'm going to change, or you're going to change, and I'm not changing. And I see Coach Berube being the exact same way.
Yeah.
One of three things. I'm changing, you're changing, and I'm not changing. So you figure it out. And that's what's happening in Toronto. And it might take more than 40 games or 50 games or even
I agree.
it might take, this might not just happen overnight. Like this is years and years of the team playing,
doing what they want
the same way. Now, here's the thing. You look at a team like Boston who eliminates them more times than not. But the fact is that Boston is 16 or 17 years in a row in the playoffs. So it's not like they're getting beat by Johnny come lately, but the way they're beating themselves is there's a lot of similarities there. So I think Coach Berube will absolutely get them turned around, and I would be excited to see where they are between games 60 and 80. I think you'll see a lot of improvements. Do they revert from time to time? They might, but he's got more than enough horsepower, right, to score. They just need to tweak that D. Like they're defending.
I was happy for our Winnipeg friends, though, our Manitoba friends.
You gave them
8-0.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
they're good.
That was pretty awesome.
Flats, job security for Flats.
Yep.
I was funny. I was talking to a friend from Manitoba, and he was saying, like, he reads the message boards online, and he was saying people are going, we're going 80-0.
Yeah.
People just losing their mind. But it's like last year, or any year, getting those games in at the beginning just helps you when you go through the tough times, right? So
I like
500 the rest of
Winnipeg.
the way.
What?
That's how much of an advantage that is. So
What's that?
if you would start 10-0, the math says you'd only have to go 500 for the final 72 games to get to 92 points.
Yeah.
And you're in. So that they've got a massive head start winning their first 8 games.
Hey, Millard, we'll obviously pull for Winnipeg, and Winnipeg's going to be in there somewhere. Them or Dallas, maybe Colorado gets in there, like to kind of fight for first, second, and third. But you kind of defended Calgary a little bit last night, which I appreciated, because I think Calgary, they didn't play very well last night, or maybe the Golden Knights played so well. Calgary's off to a good start.
No, Calgary was bad last night.
They didn't play very good, right?
They gave the puck away. There was one shift where they gave it away 6 times in the neutral zone.
Yeah. So
that's the Calgary.
It was like
a
line. It was like a line drill where the team breaks out, the defensemen break out, they do a transition, they pass it in the neutral zone, and then they do a 3-on-2 the other way. That's what it was like last night. You know exactly what I'm talking about, Sharples.
Yeah. I know what
because
you're talking about. Too. I know you don't think I know the drill either, but I know the drill too.
Sorry, Lord Bagg.
Yeah. Hey, he just talked right through you there. Hey,
shut up, comedian.
Go back and go work for Elcan some more.
The guys that are on the ice every 7 hours are going to talk right now. Look at these. They get more ice time than regular players, these two. Listen to people at home. These two are dicks.
See, that's terribly aggressive.
Yeah, well, I know.
I was attacked.
Hey, I was trying to give Calgary some love because they got the shadow of Northern Alberta all over them. They got to get a rink. They got to get a bunch of stuff. I like Calgary. I like their young players. They didn't play very well in Vegas, but overall, I don't think it's as bad as people might have it on paper. The only thing is they're going to have to move some of their older guys, which could make the second half of the season bumpy. But I mean, Calgary's tank is a lot more above half full than it is on the bottom side of being half empty.
Yeah, but when Vancouver and Edmonton and Vegas are in the division, and who knows what Seattle and LA are, they don't have a chance.
Yeah, but you still want a team that your people can get behind, right? Oh. So that's what's great about it, because we all thought they were going to be horrific.
If you're a rebuilding team and you get off to a good start, what that does to the fan base in reducing the amount of weeks that you're in agony is great. Like cutting down that runway, it's awesome. It gives you a little bit of not hope, but enjoyment of the season.
But don't you think?
Speaking of San Jose not enjoying themselves,
they won.
Well, but that's the thing.
Yeah, they scored 3 goals in the last 4 minutes and won in overtime.
No, you said it wrong. They scored 3 goals in the last 9 games. That's why you're supposed to say it.
But don't you think like San Jose isn't going to threaten? Like San Jose is not going to threaten to be. You got to figure they're going to struggle. Like to see them happy because our boy Hoods is there. Want to see him do well. But Calgary, one of the issues that you have if you're Calgary, because they have enough good young players that they're going to be competitive, and they're probably going to win some games that maybe in June when they're at the draft table, they wish they would have lost. And I'm not saying I'm not selling them out yet or at all, but I'm like, the middle of the league is murky. The top guys, everybody's happy because that's what the team's trying to do is win. But the bottom, okay, we're trying to get a Celebrini or a Bedard. But in the middle, it's murky. And that's what the concern is in Calgary, right? Is they're going to end up in the middle and they might not get that player that can come in and make a big splash for them in the next year or two. And they're going to have to wait. And I think people in Calgary are sick of waiting and they want this thing to be over. But
they had 111 points 3 years ago.
Yeah, well, there's a little different team than they had back then too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So,
yeah.
Well, hey, let's give them their due. They are off to a good start. Weren't very good last night against Vegas, and we'll see what they do the rest of the way. But Millard gave them some love last night in the telecast, and I appreciated that because I think Calgary's one of those teams that could use some.
I'm gonna take us to Vancouver right now and bring up their wins. No, what I want to bring up is Pedersen, and the guys getting on him a little bit there to play better and kind of show some emotion. Did you ever have to do that, Jeff? Did you ever have to guys have to ever dig into somebody?
Well, the coaches are usually the ones that would dig into someone. And then if you had a really good captain, a lot of times those guys would just lead by example or say, hey, boys, we got to tighten it up. And
They wouldn't say by name. Bagg, you got to
no,
tighten it up.
you know what? Sometimes guys would go at each other in practice. I don't know how it is today, but in Pedersen's case, that's a real slippery slope because you are dealing with a young man who didn't want to sign a contract all last year, and then boom, he signs a contract overnight. You also have some mental health issues that he's admitted freely that, hey, he's struggling with some stuff. So do we step on that individual, or do we extend a hand to that individual? And I know what you're saying, like he's making 11 million a year and this and that.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
No, but you're trying to figure out how to get Vancouver in the first place. If he gets back to the way he can play, he can single-handedly win games. But we're talking about trying to get a person into the right position in their life first, and then we'll get going on hockey. Unfortunately, hockey's very unforgiving, and he's in a tough spot.
But also, the game should be where you escape. Like you should be able, like mental health wise, you should be able to go in there and be able to escape. They got to let these guys not drag everything onto the ice, right? So
it's not up to them. Like, I mean, I'm sure there's all kinds of resources available. It's up to us as individuals, and sometimes it's tough to get past things, or get yourself to a spot.
I know, but what I'm saying is, when you're playing with freedom from your mind, it's noticeable.
I agree. I mean, we talk about all the time. We talk to the kids, play free. Well, sometimes they're like, play free. What are you talking about? But let's just loose.
You're a kid, you don't know. Yeah, I like peanut butter.
Yeah, so I don't know, Millard. What you can weigh in on this?
I think it's a challenging situation, a challenging market with a lot of pressure and there's a lot of noise in the Vancouver market. More than people will appreciate. It may not be with the number of media as a Toronto or a Montreal with the French and English, but it is one of the loudest markets in the National Hockey League. And it can get overwhelming for players. And I think it's now to the point where it's his personality where he's never going to be as intense as JT Miller or some of the alpha dogs in that room. And you're going to have to find a way to deal with that and live with some of that. Like Patrick Laine, when he was in Winnipeg, was a different personality than some of the leadership that was in that room. And there was conflict and challenges with that group to the point that he asked out. I hope it never gets to that in Vancouver, but they weren't able to live harmoniously together or play harmoniously together. And this is going to be a situation where, for the best for the organization, you better find a path.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you look at Vancouver. You'd throw him in their top three, right? Like you've got Hughes and JT Miller. We got JT Miller, who you know exactly what he's thinking, right? And how he rolls. Then you got Quinn Hughes, who just, you can tell but he's a different personality. Like but you those two are just as effective. Like they're superstars. Yeah. Like JT Miller's taken his game to a whole nother level, and so has Quinn Hughes. JT Miller's a little bit more us against the world. I'll show you, right? Yeah. I don't care what you say. Whereas Quinn Hughes probably absorbs a lot more, but he finds a way to be able to compartmentalize that.
But he hasn't had ups and downs like Petty has.
Right. And he's there. They need him on the back end, no matter how good or bad he plays, because he's their guy. Yeah. Whereas, there's a couple other guys up front that are like, hey, why aren't you like Niels Höglander, right? And what like
I love that guy.
And in Vancouver, would you say, I don't know if I look at it this way with Pedersen, I would say there's so much more to unpack with this young man that has nothing to do with hockey. If he can get that thing straightened around.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. I think he's one of those guys that's going to struggle with the confidence of the National Hockey League expectations because he's so talented. And then you factor in the noise of the market and the media and the fans are a significant amplifier of that noise. And it's tough to escape.
It's very tough to escape. But as you brought up Hughes, though, Hughes seems like his escape is the ice when you watch him.
Exactly.
So
he's magical out there, right? I mean, that's how you'd explain, that guy. He's up there with Makar, in someone that you would pay just to go watch them play.
Just watch them play.
Mhm.
Watch them skate.
Watch him use that
Like
blue
Shea
line.
Theodore. I love
Just
to
up
watch
and
skate.
down that.
Shea
amazing.
Theodore is absolutely slaying it this year again. Healthy, running the number one power play in Vegas. Another guy that when he's on, like those other two, those guys, what they can do with their feet, it's got to be just dreadful to try and play against them because you never know what they're going to do. And there's a good chance they're going to embarrass you, and nobody likes to be embarrassed, right?
You haven't heard it much. Alex Petrangelo, you're going to hear in the Team Canada conversation for the Four Nations.
Well, wouldn't you already have penciled him in as your number one right D?
There's a lot of guys. Okay, just work with me on this. Don't argue with me. Just work with me.
No, I am working with you. I had
so aggressive.
I had Petro written in as one of Canada's top 60.
Good. I like that you're ahead of the curve on that.
Didn't
Bagg,
you hear that?
Going? Where are you going? Oh, like you keep getting up and then coming back.
I keep switching areas. Things are going down, around, moving around. After
you look like you're sinking in that chair. Is everything okay?
But he's not gone for any more than 15 seconds, and then he's back.
I have dogs, and they're like, "Come on, man, this is bullshit. You've been doing this." There's Lou barking right now, yelling at somebody.
Every time Lou hears my voice, he interrupts our conversation because he's either like, if he's not here, I don't want you talking to him.
He's like, yeah, I don't understand. He used to bring us snacks, and now he just calls in and doesn't say anything. So I was just moving around. So now I'm moved away. So I moved from over. I was over on that side, and then I was over on that side. Now I'm over on this side. So I've got four corners. And
the room that Lord Bagg's in is about 25 square feet.
Yeah, and I just seen a hand come out. I seen a hand come into Jeff's. It was him actually drinking. So
I'm trying. Yeah, I'm hydrating. I always have my coffee and my water.
Sorry that I moved.
Coffee's not hydration.
Decaf coffee, so it's not dehydration.
He's just making sure he pees.
Okay.
He likes to pee.
Just looking out for you, buddy.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, are we going to see you later today?
I hope so.
Okay, good. No, like, oh, this is sorry,
2 o'clock.
LB. I didn't mean to. I'll ask him after we get off the show.
It's good. I'm not. No.
I got to go to practice though. I do have to go to practice right now.
All right, boys.
Are you skating with them today?
Don't think so yet.
What time is it now?
Sometimes we're practicing in 20 minutes. So
let's wrap it up. Let's do our shout outs. And by the way, the people that more and more people coming up at shows wearing hockey shirts, telling me that they listen to the podcast. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Send in if you have any questions for any of us, or hockey questions, or obviously hockey questions, or flying questions, or bicycling questions, or how to use a heated steering wheel or seat. Send in questions.
You get the back sweats.
How to not get the back sweats.
Yeah. Exactly.
And let's do shout outs. Jeff, what you got a shout out?
Yeah, I'll do a quick one. You know what? I watched the end of the San Jose Miracle on Ice last night. They outshot Utah. No, Hoods would have a little chuckle about that. But they outshot Utah big time to close that, to get back in that game. And I'm glad San Jose looks like last night was enough. I want to see Utah do well this year, but I'm very happy to see San Jose get the first win. So a shout out to our old friend Honor with the Sharks, but to the Sharks and my boy Hoods for their first win in San Jose last night. Good job.
I'm going to acknowledge Alexander Ovechkin, just some love over there, because I keep checking this box scores and they're scoring goals, but he's not scoring a ton of goals. And I want this to pick up pace so we can start talking more about the chase of Gretzky.
Oh.
I'm trying to to will that. I'm putting it out in the universe and trying to will that to happen.
You want him? You want him to overtake him?
Yeah, I wanted to do it this year. I don't want it to be like an October
Slowly,
19th
Yeah.
record breaker in the first 2 weeks of this next season. I want it to happen this year.
Yeah, he's kind of gone off onto the rest area here for a while.
Yeah.
Really, it's kind of lost some steam. Good one,
Yeah.
Millard. We'll keep our fingers crossed.
Nice. I'm going to give a shout out to you two fellas for doing this podcast with me.
You couldn't think of anything else.
No.
I had nobody. I'm nobody
Yeah.
to shout out. Nobody. So it's but it is to you. I enjoy. I send a message out on Sunday night, 10 o'clock, Tuesday morning. Jeff returns the call returns the text Monday, 10 it is. Set your alarm clock, and then I get on Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock. This Tuesday. You guys make me laugh. It's a lot of fun. I really, really enjoy doing this podcast and talking to you guys, mostly about flying and stuff. But thank you for my shout out to you fellas for making me giggle once a week.
Terribly aggressive.
Oh, I'm more than terribly
I
aggressive.
can't believe you didn't shout out Elkan. You owe them one.
They can fuck off.
Love to all.
Love to all.